What's up, everyone, and welcome to WitchSlapped, a PopWire after show where we're discussing sci-fi's revival. My name is Christina.
And I'm Dani.
And today we have a very special guest with us, Luke Boyce, the co-creator and showrunner of Revival. Hi, Luke.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you for hanging out. Yeah, I think before we jump into the episode that we're going to cover today, which is the third episode, we wanted to first congratulate you and Aaron and the cast and crew of the show. You guys have had such a positive reception since the premiere. I think today I saw that you are rated at a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is awesome. And then
Insane.
also you've been listed as the top or in the top 10 shows to watch this year by Rotten Tomatoes. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I mean it's surreal. It's hard to parse it, honestly. It's just we're feeling the love. It's amazing, and just, you work so hard on stuff, and to get this kind of reception is, this is the dream. So we appreciate it, and we appreciate everybody supporting the show and watching and enjoying it. So yeah.
Awesome. So you're here with us today to talk about episode 3, Reality Check. And we got a quick description about it.
As Wausau fractures, Dana's search brings her into conflict with a dangerous local family. The episode is written by Noelle Carbone and directed by Amanda Rowe.
Fun fact, I actually know Noelle. I've known her for a few years now, and after seeing how she eats her french fries, I'm not surprised that she is writing for a show like this. Just say
God.
that.
I have to say, Noelle was a huge get for us. When we were going through writers and Noelle showed up, I mean, immediately just her credentials and everything were, amazing. And then for her to want to actually be a part of this was a huge opportunity for us. So, and she's incredible. I mean, we already knew she was going to be amazing, and then she just exceeded our expectations. So.
She's also, I believe, one of the producers as well. I think I saw in the credit. Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Good for her. Proud of her. She's incredible.
She's amazing. She's so good.
Right. So we're going to jump into our first segment, which is just like a who said it. So I'm going to give you a quote, and I'm going to let you guys guess who said it. So my quote, I'm going to be looking down because I had it written down. But it's locking up the citizens you're supposed to protect. All right. So first, pause, viewers, and put your guesses below. But Luke, who do you think said that?
I'm wondering. It's funny because I know it, but now I have to second guess myself. Is it cheating if I say, because I feel like I know it so well, but that's Mayor Dillish, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I chose that quote just because I feel like it's really timely with everything that's going on in America right now. And I see a lot of parallels just through the show itself with things that are currently going on. And I think that's a big draw on why people are connecting so much with it.
Unfortunately. Yeah. And I mean, some of that was intentional, and some of that is as we wrote it before, long before some of this stuff started happening. Obviously, we were filming when things changed in the States specifically, and so yeah, seeing where this has gone has been interesting to say the least. And more stuff will happen in the show. I think that is unfortunately prescient. So yeah.
Is it bad to say I'm excited to see that? But
I mean, it's good drama. You know what I mean? I can't argue with that.
All right, so let's talk about some of our favorite moments this episode. Luke, do you want to go first?
Oh gosh, sure. I mean, it's hard not to say the November Dismember show. Just because it was such a big piece, just in terms of shooting it, in terms of doing it. And it also was like, a slight departure we took from the comic, to make Rhodey a singer, a punk artist and performer. But, we specifically kind of decided we wanted to get away from like mass social media. It's one of the reasons that the show takes place in an earlier time period. A lot of that is in terms of, scope and ambition. Putting this in a world of social media makes this so much bigger that news would spread, and you'd have conspiracy theories and stuff like that on the internet. And we wanted to keep it insular to the town. It's obviously still a big deal. So one of those things was in the comic, Rhodey is a YouTuber, and we kind of wanted to stay away from that. And it's one of the reasons we brought the show even a few years earlier than when the comic debuted. And so part of that was, transforming Rhodey into this, this performer, which we thought was fun, and kind of as a, an homage to Ozzy Osbourne and all that other stuff, taking that thing and using it as a marketing element for his band, for his music. So I love that scene. It turned out so well, and it's gross and it's fun, and that's Caleb doing all the singing and everything. Caleb's amazing.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that whole sequence I love.
That is like my favorite genre of music. I'm like very big on like Warped Tour and going to like small punk shows and stuff. So to see that was a really cool, especially to see that genre of music in just a small like show like that, put on the big screen is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'll get a little so there's some internal Easter eggs in that I'll let you know. So
Cool.
my younger brother Micah, it is still a performer, a songwriter. His band is different now, but he had a band called So Long Forgotten, and they did that. They toured that type of music, that genre of music, and did a lot of these small shows. And one of the they used to play at this place called The Shed all the time, which was basically an all ages, punk venue and it was literally out in the woods in the small town, this huge old shed that this person decided to turn into a performance venue. And it was great. It was wholesome. And, they bring tons of bands in from all over the world, but like, smaller, hardcore emo punk bands. And we used to go all the time to watch them play. And so that's why in this, it's called The Shed. And you actually can hear my brother's band when they go into the show. That's my brother's band, So Long Forgotten, playing in the background. So it was a fun little thing that we could put in there. And I was really proud of it.
That's awesome. That's cool to know. Thanks for sharing that with us. Dani, what's one of your favorite moments in the episode?
Oh, man. It's actually not too long after that scene that Luke was just talking about, the bridge scene with Rhodey and M. Love that scene. I love the shots that you guys took, the sort of 80s soundtrack in the background. It kind of seemed like and then just that whole conversation that they had, Rhodey's holding her and she's like, reassuring him that, it's fine to hold me tight. Like she's having all these experiences for the first time. She's been so like coddled and sheltered throughout her life. And she even says it, like, I had to die in order to live. So I think that scene between them is really beautiful. And I'm really liking, I'm enjoying watching their relationship sort of blossom. And Rhodey seems like a really good kid. So I'm glad that she met him and she's finally exploring life and having fun.
Yeah. Look at chills. I love that scene too. It's so great.
See, my favorite moment, I think, would be earlier in the episode when Dana is talking to Jordan's parents. The whole, the one God sent us is dead really struck me as a queer person. I feel like a lot of queer individuals have gone through something similar, maybe not exactly the same, but especially if you had a religious upbringing, parents or family members just wanting to disconnect from you because you're not the way that they wanted you to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised in a Noelle episode. She's such an incredible writer and just sneaks things like that in really well. And so I think that would definitely have to be my favorite episode, especially when Dana says she's worth loving.
Yeah, I get chills every time. It's so good. You're 100%. 100%. And this episode has so many great moments like that. It's one of the reasons I love this episode so much. Both of those scenes, I could have named both of those myself. It's one, one half dozen another in terms of which is my favorite. So they're all just so great.
All right, Dani, do you have a quote for our Who Said It?
Well, I did until you just said it. No, because like I had to pull that quote because that was such a powerful scene that really does stick with you. Whether you're a queer person or not, it speaks to, again, like the social undertones of this show where people who were impacted by this like phenomenon. They had no control over what happened to them, and now they're being sort of shunned and shamed. And to watch that happen to a little girl by her own parents, it really stuck with me. So yeah, that the quote that I was going to use is "She's worth loving," and then Dana follows it up with, "I hope you can find your way to do that." And so great scene.
So powerful.
Mm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I've seen these stories that are pretty much that in different ways. Obviously, not with someone coming back to the dead, but even as of recently, just with the measles outbreak and stuff like that, there have been unfortunately stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot of what the show is about, is how unfortunately easy it is for some people to other people, and so quickly. As soon as you move out of that tight comfort zone circle of, that people have, that they create, it's sad. It's very sad, but it's something that we wanted to explore in the show, and that is a big theme that runs throughout.
Definitely.
Like, you guys are doing such a good job at it. I mean, it's being able to even sit here and have a conversation about it, and people are going to be watching this and hopefully having these conversations with their loved ones and their friends. And I mean, I feel like that's what art is all about. It's starting a conversation. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Aaron and I, we grew up in very religious backgrounds, and so we've both seen this many, many times before. And not there anymore, but it definitely runs through our families, our histories. So it was something that it was important for us to tackle, for sure.
All right, moving on. Let's just talk about, some big moments in the episode, maybe some theories we might have.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
My big moment, I think, would actually be when Em realizes that she didn't jump off the bridge because her bones weren't broken. So I feel like that is just going to create a whole shift in how she's moving forward and figuring out what happened to her. And so I feel like that's a big change in her story going forward.
That Blaine guy, he's bad news. Stephen Ogg is amazing, by the way. He always plays a good villain.
100%. Yeah, we were joking when we were trying to get him on board that we're like, well, if you made Blaine in a lab, it'd probably be Stephen Ogg, our version of Blaine, I should say. So to get him was a huge deal, and that's something that Aaron worked incredibly hard on. Writing him a letter, getting him on board. So it wasn't just a normal casting. I mean, we met with Stephen many times and talked about that character a lot, and so he came on board, in a very special and personal way. So yeah, I love that character. I love what he does, and I won't tell you where it goes, but it's pretty great. So
Luke, what would be some of your favorite moments from this episode?
I mean, one of the reasons I love this episode is because there are so many. I'm gonna name a couple because there's just so many, and we've named actually a few of them already. But my first one's actually right after that. I love. There's so much that is said when Dana goes to the bridge where Em woke up and she's looking, and I think, I don't know if it's perfectly clear there, but it's not just that she's at the place that Em woke up. It's the first time she's probably going back to where their mom died. And so that bridge has so much significance. And it's just the look on Mel's face, the way she can just say so much with so little like that is incredible. And just that shot right at the end there, I mean, it's just like, it's amazing. She's amazing. My other one is one of my many other ones. I love Kay. In this show, I love Kay so much, and just her interaction with Dorothy Check at the beginning when we're kind of seeing, and then cutting back and forth to Dana. I love that whole scene.
Dani, what are some big moments or theories that stood out to you in the episode?
Well, I'm really interested in the sciencey stuff. So because I do research as a career, and Abraham, he is trying to figure out what the origin of this phenomenon is. So he's like taking samples of the flora, the fauna, the soil, the river, and he's not finding anything, right? Nothing, there's no fungal contamination or bacterial contamination on these petri dishes that he's plated. And towards the end of this episode, we see that the sample that he took from Moore Creek has like this black sludge kind of growing out of it. And it almost looks, I mean, to me, it looks like a bacterial contamination. So I'm like, oh, where is this coming from? And if it was in a creek, is that like a source of drinking water for the town? Who's having access to that water? Could we potentially see more people ending up becoming revivers because it is in a creek? Yeah, and then there is that whole element of those weird sounds that we heard in the forest when Cooper got lost. So I don't know how that would tie in, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been honing in on.
I like that. I'm curious too how close the cemetery is to that creek, and if there's somehow if it's really close and it's somehow in there, and
right,
sci-fi, fun stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Luke is gonna sit there, mud, like so many thoughts.
Not saying a word.
So Luke, we gave you the option to kind of join us for a few different episodes, and you picked episode 3 specifically.
Yep.
Could you tell us why you wanted to join us for this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because I had just rewatched it right when we started talking, and had just with we've been working a lot on the back half of the season, so going back and rewatching that episode 3, I just realized it's such a great episode. It just has so many moments, you know what I mean, and I don't know, for some reason it just there's just so many character moments that happen in this episode that I think are really great. I mean, everything. I love seeing Ibrahim kind of explore the Arlene situation. I love that whole scene too, at the Dipman's house. And then recontextualizing Arlene, I think is a great moment in this. Where suddenly we're spoilers good, right? We can talk spoilers because it's after the episode.
After the episode,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was just making sure. Yeah, it's recontextualizing, and suddenly she is sympathetic, right? Like before, we think she's some mindless zombie thing, but no, that's not the case. And then we sort of realize that there is more going on to that story, and that's something we do a lot in this show. We love to recontextualize. So it's just a heads up to the viewers. Everything matters. There are scenes that you think are innocuous that are not innocuous. There are items, things said, everything. It's something we do a lot. We love to set up and pay off. So pay attention to everything. It all matters. And that's a good example. It's an early example. So
awesome. Thank you so much. So now we're going to move into our Caption This segments. So what we do is we're going to we have put on our socials an image that we got from SYFY, and we've asked our followers to give us captions, usually funny ones. For the first episode, I'm sure you saw Melanie gave us some good ones.
Yes.
So we're going to real quick go into those right now. Thank you so much for those submissions. Be sure to follow PopWire Net on all social platforms and keep an eye out for our posts where we ask you to caption this and reply to this post with your caption, and we will include it in the next WitchSlapped. All right. So, Luke, did you come up with any quotes for the Who Said It?
I did. It's one of my favorite quotes in the whole show. I love it so much. It's one of the many reasons. It is tag 'em and track 'em. It worked in Shark Week. It'll work here.
Yes, I really have that on here. Was that the governor that said that?
That's right. Yes. Played by Shauna McDonald, is amazing. I love. She comes in for such a brief moment. She has a couple moments in the show, but she's wonderful, an incredible character actor, and we were honored to have her. She's so good.
She's kind of scary when she comes on. It's like you feel like, even watching it, I feel like I have to sit up a little straighter and just like listen to what she said.
Yes, love it.
I love that. All right, so now we're just gonna go into our performer of the episode. So it's just kind of who we want to highlight as like really stood out for us personally. Dani, do you want to go first?
Sure. My favorite performer of the week for this episode is going to be Andy McQueen, who plays Ibrahim Ramin. I think I'm probably going to be choosing him a lot because I really enjoy his character. When he's talking to the governor and when he's talking to the sheriff about how these citizens, these Reviver citizens, they're just like everybody else except, they have these special abilities like regeneration. He's really trying to make sure that these people are still protected and that they aren't boxed and shunned. And anyways, the amount of passion and compassion that he puts into the character, I think really speaks through the screen. Wow, that's why I've chosen him.
Yeah, love it.
What about you, Luke? Who is your performer of the episode?
I mean, I've got to go with Caleb Horn as Rhodey. I think this is his episode. He just, he shines. Just like I said, the scene, the November Dismember Saint show, is so good, and just the fact that it's him singing and it's him, and everything, and like you said, the end scene on the bridge, and just the level of compassion he shows, and you just really buy that he is that person. He is just this wonderful, sweet, heartfelt human being, and so I love him, and I love that character, and I love Em and Rhodey. So
awesome. I think my favorite performer for the episode, because of that shot on the bridge, it's going to be Melanie again, Melanie Scrofano. I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting her multiple times, so I know how incredible she is in person, and then to see that on screen, and just the fact that she can break hearts with a look, like she's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. My recap of the episode will be on popwire.net. So you click the link below the description to read it. Revival airs Thursdays on SYFY at 10 p.m. and episodes are available to stream on Peacock a week after they air on SYFY. Once again, my name is Christina.
I'm Dani. Really good to see you all. Luke, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for hanging out with us.
No, it was an honor. Thank you for having me. I love talking about this show. I love it. Thank you for watching.
Everybody, be sure to follow all of our socials at PopWire.net on every social media platform. And make sure you watch Revival every week.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Luke.
Thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate it.